Let the bass kick.
Think about it. 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 Think about it.
Let the bass kick.
Think about it. 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 Biggest thing that's ever happened.
Hi, my name is Alan. I've been in the ad industry for the past 40 years. But today, I think I've finally found my first love, a virtual live streaming platform. We have often been asked, how far can you take virtual live streaming? My answer would be as far as your imagination can take you. With today's technology, we are able to do things we couldn't yesterday. Let my production team demonstrate to you what can be done. Take it, Uncle.
Okay, thank you, boss. At the current situation of pandemic, online training is a go. Of course, we can have a fancy thing like this. And like this. Oh, slow. And like this. Whatever you can imagine, and we can do it any way you want. Okay, wait. Hello, Habibi? Yeah. No, I'm working, I'm in the studio. Wait, someone is coming. I got to go, okay.
Can I move now?
Wait. Okay, you can come up. Okay, wait. You continue. Bye-bye.
Bye. Hi, I'm Shelley. I'm hands-on in the events industry for the past 15 years. Let me make use of this technology to make your dream launch, events, or a show a reality. We own a multi-purpose hall big enough for a car to be driven in. making the best of a physical space and virtual streaming to bring you to the next level. To me, everything has a solution, no matter how complicated the situation is.
The music industry has changed in the past few months. The new normal has caused so much hardship. But don't worry, the new technology that we have developed can solve a lot of this problem. The solution, do it with virtual live streaming.
Reno, is there anything else a singer can do?
Yes, of course.
Internet no good? Okay, I go offline.
I have my own live streaming, catering for customers to shop online while being entertained. You are always welcome to watch my live streaming channel, The Shopping Station, 购物火车站.
Give us a call and let's have coffee and talk. Everyone, and welcome to another episode of Hearts to Heart Talk. And as usual, I have always some interesting guests. And today is going to be a special. These guests are not in the studio at the moment. They are still in UK. But how are we going to do it? Because of the technology we have now, we can invite them in. I would like to invite now our two special guests, Mr. Peri and Mr. Neil, to the studio. Are you there? Hey, hey, hey. Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Neil. Hi, Peri. Welcome to my
Hello,
talk show.
Selamat petang.
Yeah. How's the weather in UK?
Go ahead, Perry.
Oh, it's very cold as usual. Nothing like the warm weather I'm sure you're experiencing in Malaysia.
Yeah. I just had a nice golf game under the nice sunshine. It's cold
Well,
there now. Yeah.
Yeah, very jealous. We've got the coal fire burning because it's absolutely freezing, but hopefully the summer will be with us soon.
Yeah. I can understand that. Yeah.
And
And
if you
Neil,
come
how
here
are
to
you?
play, if you come to play golf, Alan, then I've got a nice big umbrella for you.
My face all red. But anyway, I'd just like to share with you, Neil and Peri. In Malaysia, I'm known as a banana. You know banana? Banana, the fruit banana. The banana,
Yes.
and we call it banana in Malaysia. Banana is yellow outside, but inside is white. So I'm a Chinese, yellow outside, but I'm English educated. So I'm lucky in a sense that I'm able to communicate in English because my education was in English. Yeah, so that is definitely an advantage for me because now I'm able to do talk shows like this. I can go overseas and do communication, and I do presentations quite often, and I've done that before in overseas, and they can understand me. So, and even though sometimes I make some grammatical errors, but it's still understandable. So I'm lucky in that sense. So I would like to let the audience know that you are in the language industry. Is that true?
Yes.
Yeah. What can you tell us roughly what do you do? We'll go into the details later, but roughly can you tell us what exactly both of you do? Because I'm sure they're very curious. Who are these two gentlemen from UK? What do they do? Why are they on the show? Starting with you, Neil.
Well,
Can you,
I think we could start with Perry, actually, because Perry's in charge of the education in the company. So I'm going to pass that question to Perry to answer.
Sure,
Okay.
thank you, Neil. So,
Yeah.
well, as you know, my name's Peri. I'm the Director of Studies for Meridian School of English. So we're
Okay.
a language school that's been based in the UK for over 40 years,
right.
delivering English language courses to students from all around the world that have come to study in the UK. across. Previously, we had two physical schools that students would come to study at. One in Portsmouth, which is on the south coast of the UK near London, and the other in Plymouth, which is also on the south coast, but a little bit further west towards the coast down there. So.
Okay, so you're in the language learning industry in a way. Yeah, it's education, I suppose. Yes.
Yeah, and we focus on children.
Do you focus on English?
Yeah, teaching English to children.
English.
In the past, we've also had a vocational school, but due to the pandemic, that has kind of closed down, apart from in one of our locations.
Okay. Yeah. So, just to let the audience know a little, what was the motivation that you started doing this? I mean, there are a lot of things that you can do other than doing language. What was the motivation that started you in this?
Okay. Well, for myself, I've been with the company since 2004, and being in the education industry for me was an opportunity to make a difference in people's lives.
Yeah.
And it was fun as well, because I also worked with partners that would send us students from overseas. And so I got to have a lot of exposure to different people's culture and practices. And so that's the main reason I've stayed in the industry, because of those two reasons, really, making a difference in people's lives, and also it's fun.
Fantastic.
We have fun.
Yeah. So I can see that you're very passionate about doing this language thing. How was the journey? Was it a tough one, or it was smooth sailing all the way when you started? And how do you start this thing?
Okay, I think give you a little historical background.
Yeah.
Up until the pandemic.
Ah.
So I'm getting an echo feedback. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Up until the pandemic, we were in 4 countries. So we had 2 schools in the UK, also in Spain, Italy, and Poland. And everything for us was about physical. We didn't have any online presence at all.
Okay.
And then when the pandemic came down, of course, all of our students and all of our locations, they came from another country. And of course, people couldn't travel. And so, in effect, our school was closed. And we basically sort of sat down as a management team and involved the whole company, actually, and said, where's this going to go? How long is this going to last? And we had different opinions. And in the end, we kind of guessed that this would probably be with us for 2 or 3 years. And in effect, that's what's happened. Okay. And we said, well, we wouldn't survive if we didn't do something, because with all those resources, all those locations, and all the staff. So we looked at what could we do. What was optioned. And after some brainstorming and a lot of ideas, we came up with the basis of the product that we have now. And that journey has been, very difficult, challenging, I should say. Also very, inspiring, motivational.
Okay.
It's been a real big learning curve on many levels, because we moved from what would have been a face-to-face school to what we're now classified as an edtech. And so there was a lot of learning for us.
Yeah, but I guess you're lucky, because with the technology that we have these days, it's much easier to do something like this. So you were running a physical school before this, or were you online?
Yeah. No, it was all physical schools. We had 5 locations.
Oh, okay. So you really turned the whole battleship around, yeah?
Yeah. The whole business has turned around, and in a sense, we're almost 100% online. We only have 1 physical location now, which is in Spain. And all of our other locations, we don't plan to run them again. We're 100% focused on online.
Okay. Perry,
Alan,
do you have anything to
it's a
add?
very good analogy about turning the battleship around. Because obviously my role as Director of Studies, I'm very much focused obviously on the teaching English as a foreign language. And my journey actually in this industry started in Malaysia with my very first role as a teacher, teaching in Kuala Lumpur.
So you taught in Kuala
Cyberjaya.
Lumpur, yeah.
Yeah, and it is very much it's a teaching, as many teachers will tell you, it's about passion and enjoying the rewarding experience of seeing and helping, facilitating people to learn. The challenge for us has been, it's almost a contradictory challenge where we have a lot of experience in this industry, working with students, both young learners and adults as well, learning English as a second language, but also a very new experience for us using online platforms and embracing technology in the challenges that we've had with the pandemic. So it's been a great experience.
Great. I have a video. I just want to show our audience a little bit more about your Meridian. Yeah, I think that would interest them. Can we have the first video? Can we have it full screen? Thank you. That was a very nice video. That's about yourself. I can see that you are very different from other institute of learning. I can see that you make it fun for everyone. Would you want to elaborate a little further how you are different from the rest of the other people?
Yeah, I think. Thank you, Neil. And Alan, I think what makes us quite different from what you would normally find looking for courses online is the notion of having regular group classes rather than one-to-one, because we think it's really important that children and students can interact with their peers so they can speak with each other, not only with the instructor. Having it in an environment with our teachers, we have very high standards for the qualifications of our teachers. So the nature of having that environment with a very highly qualified teacher with other learners in what we call a semi-flexible curriculum. And I will go into a little bit of detail on that if you don't mind, because I do think that's what really sets us apart. Is many online courses offer a fixed curriculum. So if you book sessions or classes with the teacher, you deliver a set amount of material over a fixed period of time. We follow our curriculum set out by the CEFR, which is the Common European Framework of Reference, with materials that are published by Oxford University Press. However, our teachers are trained and skilled in using that material to move a little bit slower if that's what the learners need, or move a little bit faster, or to bring the materials to life, to supplement with content which the teachers feel will engage with the learners more. So, as you can see from the video before, we do really highlight that every child is unique and individual, have their own different interests, they learn in different ways, and we really do our best to try to cater to that, to create an environment in which students can learn most effectively.
Yeah, interesting. I can see a lot of pictures of children, but do you take in adults, or is there a age group where you, or is there a specific age group you cater for, or is it you're open for everyone?
So at the moment, currently the age ranges, the minimum is 6 years old and the maximum is 12 years old.
12 years old, okay.
We put students in groups that are close, within 2 years of age at an appropriate level. But it is in our roadmap and our plans for the future as we grow and as we improve to be able to offer courses to children from 13 plus. And the sky is the limit in terms of being able to provide educational opportunities.
Yeah. Because I think the English language is very unique. There are so many ways to make use of the language. You can use it to communicate. You can use it to watch Netflix, enjoy a movie. There's so many things you can do with that. You can do business, of course, with the language. Is there any goals you set for kids when they take on the course? What is the objective of getting them on the course, and how do you go about it?
Yeah, the key thing here is about having fun. Because in educational terms, we use there's a term that's used called the affective filter. But to explain what that means, it's about when you are feeling nervous or sad or uncomfortable in a situation, you're less likely to absorb information and to be able to grow and develop. So our goal is to create an environment that's fun, that students are happy to be a part of. It's about building their confidence and giving them the opportunity to use language in a natural environment to have that impact on other aspects of their life, like you just mentioned. Okay,
interesting. So your syllabus is unique in a way. You did the syllabus of your course. Do you do any research on how do you get about doing the way that you do it now?
Yeah, I would say that, the core elements are not unique, but how we put it together is unique. Yeah. So the core aspects of the curriculum are, as I mentioned, we use Oxford University Press materials that are well used, well loved around the world, are constantly being updated and being improved. The methodologies that we use in the classroom are industry standard and at a very high level. Teachers are qualified with Cambridge University or Trinity College London certification. And so that the way that material is interpreted by the teachers for the students is unique in that sense in this environment. Yeah.
Neil, have you anything to add on?
No, I think Peri summed it up very well, actually.
Yeah. Neil, are there any plans you have in mind? I mean, your future plans, your goals, or what are you going to do from here?
Well, the next step really is, I think, as Peri sort of alluded to, is expanding the age range. So we started off with a very narrow focus, 6 to 9 and 10 to 12. Yeah. And our plan is to move that to 13 to 15, 16 to 17, and then another brand would deliver programs for adults. Okay. And the 13 to 15 is going to start this year. And the 16 and 17 will be in 23, and more than likely the adults as well.
Yeah. It's good that you are very focused now and you are looking at the children, because that is the best time for them to learn a language. Just like music, they pick up very fast. Just like the young people pick up language very fast. You ask me to learn another language, now I'm dead. But even though I can speak maybe 4 or 5 languages, it's quite common in Malaysia to be able to do that. Yeah. And that is an advantage. But I think being able to speak in English is definitely an advantage. And I'm so glad that I heard that you are coming into Malaysia with this course. Is that true?
Yes, Peri can give us his experience with the students that we've had from Malaysia.
Yeah, I mean, this is the beauty of technology and the development of our business, which is that we're being able to provide opportunities now to customers from all around the world who perhaps didn't have the means or the time or the possibilities to come over to visit us in the UK. So opening up the door in Malaysia is something we're really excited about. Having personally spent a year of my life living there, it's a country that's very close to my heart, and I'm really excited to welcome more and more Malaysian students to our programs.
Yeah, I heard that we are starting this course here in Malaysia, and we are actually giving free free courses, 3 free courses as an
Yes.
introductory offer.
That's right. So we offer a short trial offers to allow an opportunity for parents and the children themselves to come in and meet a teacher, to meet other classmates. In some cases, we work with groups that are exclusively from the same country, and in other cases, we're able to provide mixed nationality groups where they can meet other children from other parts of the world that are studying at the same time as them. So they have an opportunity to kind of broaden their social circle and experience a little bit of an international experience, let's say. Because one of the things that was at the core of what we were trying to achieve with this product was to really take the experience that many of our students had coming to the UK and studying here and taking that whole experience online. And part of that is the social aspect, meeting other people and being able to mingle in that environment. So, yeah.
I think you two guys are doing a very noble job making use of technology to bring everything to our people here in Malaysia. We are lucky to have that, because I have seen a little bit about how you conduct your lessons. We would like to show the video of how you conduct lessons later on in the show, but for now we're going to take a little break and then we come back in a short while. Don't go away, we'll see you in a short while. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right, yeah. Hi, welcome back. We are on the second part of our show. On tonight's show, I have Neil and Peri all the way from UK, and I would like to welcome them again. Even though it's just virtually, we are nice to have you in this room together with me. It's nice talking to you. We are talking about your Meridian, your Meridian School. And you are focusing on teaching English to children, and that is a fantastic thing, because as you know, the education system in Malaysia has also changed a little. During my days, it was all English stream, so all the lessons, geography, history, maths, and everything is done in English. So I'm able to communicate pretty good, even though, like I say, grammatical errors here and there, but I'm able to communicate because my first language at the time was English, but things have changed a little, and because we are using Bahasa. Of course, Bahasa is a very important language here in Malaysia, but yet we are losing out a little because English, I think, is one of the main language that we use. Is used in the United Nations. We use it in business. We use it in when we try to do research and all that. So, how are you going to make this available to our people here in Malaysia? How do you intend to do it?
Well, first off, Alan, I think I mean, as you mentioned, English is a global language, and it's the language of business. So there's a real sort of emphasis placed on that. But I would like to say it is so important, obviously, that local languages such as Bahasa Malay are protected, and that's really important. One of the things that we always say about our courses is that we are a supplement to what our students do at school. It's in addition to what they do, not really to replace their instruction that they might receive at their local schools, but it's to enhance that experience. So our programs are all about regularity. So it's about frequent sessions. So we have programs that run either 3 days a week or 5 days a week for 30 minutes sessions. And the idea is to build that repetitive habit, a positive learning habit where students get to use English in a natural, immersive environment regularly. Before the break, Alan, you spoke about learning a musical instrument. And actually, I think this is a really good analogy to sort of draw a comparison to, because myself as well, I've learned a few musical instruments, and many myself and many people I speak to find the same. If you practice the piano 10 minutes a day, every day, you will see a huge improvement rather than if you do 3 hours practice once a month. If you it's about that, building that habit and building that regularity and building the confidence to use your skills in the right sort of environment. So that's our approach and how we can help our students incorporate confident English language usage into their lives.
And I think it's also important that you are building a foundation for them when they're young, because I understand a lot of the parents here in Malaysia, they send their children overseas, and if they can't communicate well when they are overseas, especially when they want to study in UK, or Australia, or New Zealand, it will be very difficult for them to, even get things done. So I think it's a great thing because I think I'm sure the lessons are also made in such a way that it's made for them to learn how to communicate rather than just learning grammar, and which is making it quite boring. You are trying to teach them how to communicate. I hope that is true. Is that true?
Yeah, you've hit the nail on the head there, Alan. The methodologies that I mentioned earlier, which all of our teachers are very thoroughly trained in, is known broadly as the communicative approach. So the real focus there is that the role of the teacher is more of a facilitator, but a knowledgeable facilitator, obviously. Someone who can provide opportunities for students to interact with each other and to elicit their pre-existing knowledge and to give them the input that they need in order to progress. So very different from what you describe in let's say, a traditional teaching environment where a teacher would lecture to them. It's how many of us, myself included, had to learn languages as a child, memorizing grammar tables and things like this. We're more about being able to produce language and to communicate effectively.
So it's all about communication and having fun, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Neil.
And again, communication, of course, is the most valuable skill one can have. If you can communicate, you can go anywhere in life.
Definitely. If not, I won't be able to sit here and talk to you. I'm so glad that I learned the language when I was young. And it makes the world much smaller. And we can communicate with each other. I have a video prepared, which I think was sent by you all, to demonstrate to our audience how the lessons are actually done. So I would like to play it for our audience now. Maybe you can give some comments later on about the video. Okay, can I have the next video about the lessons?
This. Ooh.
Have you seen this before? Does anybody know the name? It's a volcano. Yeah. And so this letter, does anybody know the letter? The letter is V. Yeah. I'm going to show you here the shape of my mouth with the teeth here. V. Good. V. Good. So V sounds like V. Good. And V is for volcano. Good. Can you do this? V, V, V. Good. Fuchu, watch me. It's not W, it's V. Can you see my teeth? They go on my lip like this. V. V. Yes, that was it. Well done. Good job. Okay, so all together, V. Good. Everybody, V. V. Good. Volcano. Excellent. Very good. Well done.
Was that you, Peri?
I think that was my twin brother, Harry. No, that was me from
I think
while
you're
ago.
looking
Yes,
good
absolutely.
there. So this is an example of a lessons that people can anticipate when they take on the course. Is it going to be?
Yeah.
Is it going to be live like this?
That's right. So it's a live, what we call a synchronous environment. So, similar to what we're doing right now,
Okay,
actually, Alan,
right. Yeah.
together, but without the fancy studio background that we have here.
Okay.
To put that snippet into context, that was working with one of our first groups. Were in a pilot course. They're very low level, quite young students. So in those early lessons, we were working through basic phonics, letter recognition, and giving them the opportunity to work on some sort of key pronunciation aspects. And that's something that all of our teachers work on with our students throughout all of the levels, but with varying degrees of focus. Obviously, as they're able to communicate more, there's more discussion and opportunities for them to speak with each other.
Great. Anything else to add, Neil?
No, I don't think so. As Peri said it.
Yeah, I read.
Lower.
Yeah, I think this is very interesting that how you do it, and you actually give personal coaching. Yeah, in pronunciation also. I think that is important, and I think it come in very handy when these little children grow up, because it's funny the way we speak, like in Malaysia or the Chinese. The intonation is not like tang 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 tang. But as I get used to speaking to people like you guys, you have a sing song and nice intonation and pronunciation. Is that true? Because the way that, even because sometimes I do voiceover, I do voiceover a little bit here and there. I listen to myself and say, why am I so flat? By talking to you, Peri, you sound so good. You sound like a very professional voiceover guy, So are you trying to train them to be able to speak well as well, Peri?
Yeah, look, I could talk all evening about this, so I'll try and keep it short. But English is what we would call a world language. It's a global language. So when somebody says what is a standard English, it's a very difficult question to answer. For example, if those who are watching, listen, could compare the way that I speak and to how Neil speaks and how you speak, Alan, there are subtle differences, based on where we're from, the region. Obviously, both Neil and I are from the UK, but we're from different parts of the UK. And we. All of our teachers, again, have a different degree of background in terms of where their accent might come from.
I have trouble. I have trouble speaking to someone from Scotland. I won't be able to understand them.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm actually from Wales
From
originally,
Wales,
and,
okay.
and there are some accents and some regional dialects are notoriously difficult to get to understand, but with a little bit of time, you know, it's they become natural as well. You know, it's for us, it's all about being able to communicate effectively. So, you know, we as I mentioned before, in terms of pronunciation, the majority of the work that we do is linked to what is known as received pronunciation, which is very similar to the way that I speak. As an example, to try and give students the opportunity to be understood in the most amount of scenarios and circumstances.
Yeah, Perry, because even you are speaking in your native language, which we sometimes we call a little bit of slang, you know, but we are able to understand you very well. Because when I was young, I was very afraid to speak to a white guy, because I even though they are speaking English and I'm speaking English, I find it very hard to understand them. So I suppose your lesson is also to make them feel confident to be able to communicate to someone who is not of the same nationality. They're able to communicate on the same level, you know, that don't feel inferior in any way. Because I think, not that English is a superior language, everyone is the same, but it's just that when you speak well, and you present well, it really brings you up. I think make you feel confident. So I suppose you are trying to make the children confident, so that they can use the language proudly and without hesitation, I suppose. Is that what you intend to do?
100%. That is what it's all about. You know, we are very much focused on building the confidence to give, and that's all through everything we've discussed, obviously, today. But giving them that regular opportunity to practice in that environment every single day is what allows them to build up that sort of momentum of confidence. I can share a very small anecdote, a personal story actually. I studied French at school from about the age of 8 until I was 18. So for a good 10 years I studied French at school. And in the British system I studied for, I think it was 2 lessons a week for you know 1 hour or 1 hour and 30 minutes. Outside of the class, I never had the opportunity to practice my French, and it wasn't very regular either. I didn't practice in the holidays. Eventually, when I was in my late teens, I went to France and I went to a bakery, and I realized that after 10 years of learning French, I couldn't even buy myself a loaf of bread. I didn't know how to do it. And of course, the anecdote there is that without that regular practice, and this is something that you know, when I stayed in France, and when I was back in the UK, I had a friend who was French, and when I practiced a little bit every day with my friend, or when I was obviously in France and forced to use it, the improvement was, I mean, incomparable. And so that is our goal, really, in terms of being able to give students the opportunity to practice every single day when it's possible.
Yeah, I suppose your course is designed in such a way also that they are able to communicate after taking just a few lessons, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, every course would be different, and it depends on the starting point. But obviously, I'm familiar with obviously the mixture of languages that our Malaysian students will have been exposed to. So it's quite different. Probably, you know, I think many Malay students would come to our courses with already a basic knowledge or a basic understanding of English, having heard it and seen it around in the culture there. So being able to communicate straight from the off is I think in many cases a given. However, we do also cater to students who come to us as absolute beginners who've never had any experience with English whatsoever, and we start right from the very beginning with basic letter recognition and phonics and word building. Okay.
Since a picture or video paints 1,000 words, I have one more video. And I think it's the best to show our audience what your lessons is really about and how interesting it can be. I would like to play for our audience now the second video, and then maybe we can comment on it a little later on. Thanks. Can I have the second video, please?
Good, Amy. Tracy, have I asked you, Tracy?
I love drawing because drawing makes me happy, and I like camping because I can play with my friend. I don't meeting play football because I don't know how to play, but maybe I can learn. And I hate running. I don't like running because it made me tired.
Very good. Good job. Can you hear? What is it? It's. What is it? Ah.
It's the cookie.
Do you like? It is biscuit.
Biscuit. Do
Biscuit.
you like biscuit?
Biscuit. Do you
I
like to eat biscuits,
like sweet.
Jalen? Yeah.
Yes, I
Mura.
like. And
Mura.
you?
Yeah. I'm quite impressed. You know, the little girl can speak after your coaching. Yeah. And then it's live, isn't it? It's live, and you can immediately give them feedback on what they're doing.
Yeah, those two clips are really interesting because it shows you two aspects of what a class can look like. The first clip, you can see the teacher using some of the course materials where we use pictures, we use videos, we use interactive games. There are other tools to help engage the learners and to give them what we call a scaffold so that they can build up their confidence. So to begin with, we'll help them quite a lot and give them as much support as they need, and gradually take that away so they can speak freely then without any of those support mechanisms in terms of the pictures, etc. The second clip there is also nice because using what we call realia or props, using real objects to help elicit meaning and is another thing that we can use really quite effectively in this environment, just as in the physical classroom. We also operate, we use other techniques such as TPR, which is total physical response. So it's using your hands, using your body, when you need to listen, when you need to look, when you need to read. There are lots of different ways that teachers can, mimic that sort of physical classroom experience online, and those were two very nice examples.
Yeah. Do you limit the number of students in each class, or is up to?
The maximum class size that we operate now is 6. We chose 6 because obviously with such short classes, we want to make sure there's enough opportunity for everybody to get involved, everybody to participate, and also for the teacher as well to be able to monitor and to assess the development of that number of students within that time. 6 is an optimal number.
Yeah. Can you tell me again your age group that you're talking about? 2 to 6?
No, so it's 6 to 9 and 10 to 12.
2 to 6. 2 also?
6.
6 to
no. 6 is the youngest that we take at this stage.
Okay. Yeah. 6 to 9.
Yeah, and then again at 10 to 12.
Okay. Any reason why you choose that age group or?
Yeah, I think when you're pre-primary, younger than the age of 6, is something that we have discussed and something that we may well consider. But students when they come to us at the age of 6 are usually able to learn quite quickly the autonomous skills that are needed to participate online. They still need some support from their parents to encourage them to sit down in front of a computer. But obviously, teaching English to babies is it is possible, but it's a very different environment.
Is there any objective at the end of the day? Is this lessons they are giving, making them able to communicate, or making them just to appreciate language, like maybe when they grow up, they're able to appreciate Shakespeare or Charles Dickens, or is there any intention there? Because there are fantastic English writers in the early days. There are a lot of good books, and I think, is there any intention of getting them, to love the language, so that in the end they can also learn the culture, the English culture, which is is so colorful.
Yeah. Well, the world is your oyster in terms of English literature once you're able to access it with the language. I think that the choices that people make with the skills that they develop is up to them. But as you mentioned earlier, a lot of people learn English to help them, with their business aspirations. Others might use it to further their educational aspirations. I also think it's important as well in terms of education in general, in terms of their social and cultural aspirations as well, because there's that sort of impact in terms of, education is so key in those areas, and it's one of the most valuable things that our society has to offer, in our opinion.
Actually, the education system in Malaysia actually is not too bad, but we still send a lot of our children overseas. So I suppose this is a really good thing to start them young on a language that they're going to use in future when they really do go overseas. Because a lot of our parents here really send their children overseas because they want them to, not because the education system here is no good, but they want exposure. They want to make them feel independent, let them feel what the world is outside there also, so they won't feel like they're living under the coconut shell. So I suppose your lessons is, in a way, teaching them to communicate when young, so that when they really go overseas, they won't have any problem. Is that one of your intentions also?
Absolutely. I mean, obviously English opens up a lot of doors. It's not only to England, which is obviously a relatively small place, but with lots of opportunities in terms of educational development. But of course, those that can use English to access education and opportunities. Obviously, there are a lot of countries around the world, such as America and Australia and many others, where English is a language that is needed, to engage there. So yeah, absolutely, it is about opening up that world of opportunity that a fluent English speaker can access.
I'm so glad you're doing that. It's something really noble. Neil, anything to add after we have spoken so far?
I think we've covered a lot of things. Is that where we see, obviously our core focus is to develop communicative skills in English. However, as has already been pointed out, we want to build a learning habit, and we also see that English is currently, and has been for some time, that may change in the future. It may become Mandarin in 50 years or 100 years. But at the moment, it's English. And there's a lot of problems that the world, has to face. We won't go into the details of those problems, but there's a lot of problems that are affecting the whole world. And having a language that we can get and we can communicate with each other, solve problems, I think is really important. So that's also part of our vision, is that we're making, in effect, global citizens, or at least people that can communicate with each other across culture and across nations to solve problems. And the world is a small place. Here we are, sat talking to you in Malaysia. 15 years ago, we couldn't have done this.
Great. And because you don't have many students in each lesson, so you need to have a lot of teachers, I suppose. Do you have how do you train the teachers, and how do you select them, or how many do you have at the moment? Because I'm sure after this show, a lot of people is going to inquire about how they're going to get on this lesson because they've seen something so interesting and exciting. So can you share a little bit how you're going to go about it? How do you do it in the first place?
So our teacher recruitment is based around their qualifications. So obviously they need to have the right training, the right experience, and the right attitude to work with young learners. We obviously, as a company, we have to work on a supply and demand. So as we get more students, we recruit more teachers to meet those demands. At the moment, we have over a dozen teachers actively teaching, and many more who are part of what we call the Meridian teachers community. So those that are waiting to look, waiting for opportunities to work with us as students arrive, and that's an area that we're constantly looking to grow. As as we welcome more students, we will welcome more teachers that meet our requirements.
Great. And what about the certificate? Are you certified in any way, or do you work with any organization, so that people feel confident that they're taking the right course? Who do you work with? Do you, or you're on your own, or do you work with other organizations?
Yeah, Meridian School of English is British Council Accredited, and that means that obviously we review our material, we review our content, we review our teachers. All of our teachers are appraised and observed, and we take that sort of quality assurance very, very seriously.
Yeah.
It's about meeting standards that we have to maintain across all of our programs all of the time. So
Yeah, great. Neil, anything to add on? No.
I think they met the British Council Accreditation. I'm not sure. It may not be well known to.
It's
to
quite
people
well
in
known.
Malaysia,
During my
but
days, we're always talking about the British Council Accreditation in Malaysia. So
but it's very important because, in effect, it gives parents security that we are inspected, that we meet a quality standard. And our inspection report is available on the British Council website. We actually have a British Council inspection coming up in May. So we're preparing for that, and they will be observing our teachers. They'll be looking at our curriculum. They'll be looking at what's called safeguarding or child protection measures that we've put in place. And they'll also look at our publicity to see that in effect, we're telling the truth about what our program is, so that it's accurate and reliable. Yeah. And they cover many things, such as the kind of legal aspects of the organisation to ensure that we're meeting legal duties. So it is important. Our competitors, as far as we know, operating in Malaysia, don't have that British Council accreditation.
Yeah, great. Yeah, so it's accredited to British Council. Yeah, fantastic. And we've been chatting for almost an hour now. If you didn't notice, it was so much fun chatting with you guys. Are there any plans for the future? What are your vision or your philosophy in life? Is there anything that you want to just let our audience know a little bit more about you? Neil first. Yeah.
Oh gosh, I think we've covered a lot. We want to expand what we're doing into more countries. One of the motivations behind that is, for example, on your time zone or on a similar time zone, we're operating in China, Thailand, Malaysia, and we're looking to expand into other countries, Indonesia, Vietnam, Cambodia, etc. And the reason that we want to do that is so that we can bring children together in their class, so that we can have a very unique experience for children, that they are coming from different nationalities and cultures. Yeah. And picking up on what you said before, there isn't one correct, spoken English. As Peri said, he would speak what's called received English, but to be exposed to people with different accents. Is very important because it goes back to that key point about understood, communicating. So we want to do more of what we're doing and to bring in more students from different countries.
Fantastic. Bringing the world together. I mean, that is a great vision. Yeah, great vision. Through language, you try to bring the world together. Yeah. Yeah, and
we sum it up at the Meridian community. We want to build a community of learners that can be connected from childhood into adulthood. Yeah. And when I was a child, we used to have pen friends. So you would send a letter to people in a different country, and that would take 3 or 4 weeks to arrive or something. By the time you letter back, and now with digital tools, hopefully, we can create that network in the future. Obviously, it takes time.
How about you, Peri? What's your philosophy in life?
Yeah, I think my personal philosophy is look, it's about growth and development, and it's about reflection as well, because obviously we learn from our mistakes, we grow. There's the same kind of principle is applied into a language environment as well. We encourage all of our learners to not be afraid to make a mistake when they're speaking, because that's the only way that you can learn and grow and develop your skills. And speaking about the sort of Meridian community, it is a really lovely vision that we would have. We currently work across many different countries in different time zones, which is a challenge. But we have students that are making friends in countries that they would not ordinarily have an opportunity to do that, and that's a really magical thing to see happen. Actually, it's a really lovely experience to see that develop.
Okay, before we go, I'd like to share something on the screen. Can you put it full screen? The online, the screen at the back. Can we be full screen? Yeah. Okay, we have online English lessons. This to let our people know that, you know, Meridian is here in Malaysia. Yeah, fantastic. And we have online lessons for children aged 6 to 9 and 10 to 12 years old. 30 minutes of live interactive lessons. 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We have 100% qualified, experienced teachers from UK, new friends from around the world. Register before 10th April 2022, and you get fantastic free 3 trial lessons. We're going to give free trial lessons, but you got to register soon. Yeah, you got to register soon. You register now, you can get your free lessons and really get an experience on how this thing really works. I think it's fantastic that technology nowadays is able to help us to learn things faster. And I think this is a great new way to learn. And I can feel the excitement, you know, in taking up this course for the children. Yeah. Okay, back to us, yes. And we are back here, and we've been chatting for 1 hour. I think it's really nice talking to you. And I forgot to tell you, to ask you, what is the time there in UK now?
Oh, it's 2:30 in the afternoon for us.
Oh, in the afternoon. Okay, it's about 9:30 now in Malaysia. And in Malaysia, we say Selamat Malam, which is good night. And I want to say good night to both of you all. It's just fantastic chatting with you all. I really learned so much, and I really look forward to the Meridian way of learning in Malaysia. And I hope to see you again soon. And especially Peri, you've been here in Malaysia. We look forward to having you back. And Neil, you should pay us a visit.
Thank you.
Yeah, we can have a game of golf or something, man. Yeah. Okay.
I was going to say, my sister, she used to work in Penang in Malaysia, so I went to visit her.
All right.
And I also stayed in Kuala Lumpur for a few days, and I'd love to go back. It was a great experience.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing you. And with that, Selamat Malam and bid you good night from here in Malaysia. And good morning to you there.
Much.
Yeah.
Thank you
so much. It's really enjoyable talking to you. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for watching. And with that, we bid you good night. And watch out again for the next episode of Heart to Heart Talk, when we talk to some exciting guests again. Good night, everyone. Bye-bye. And how do you go, Neil?
Meet a company who gets what your event marketing needs. We are Annocent. Any event, any purpose, our team knows everything you need for a smashing success. We always have a plan made just for you. And when it's crunch time, we walk the talk and make it happen. And on event day, the results speak for themselves. All the event solutions you could need, all in one company. We should know. We've been at it for over 10 years. Starting with music and growing to master events of all kinds. Put the event of your dreams in our hands and watch the magic happen when we bring it to life so that it looks and sounds like a dream come true. Events, commercials, we do it all and make it brilliant. We are Annocent. We get events and we get you.